Do you remember how China saved the U.S. economy? It bought a huge part of U.S. treasuries in 2009 amid mounting fears that Washington was unable to finance its bank bailouts.
I appreciate greatly the Chinese government's continuing confidence in United States treasuries.
An even better tomorrow of China-U.S. relations.
The relationship between the United States and China will shape the 21st century.
And the buying spree continued for several years. China has long been the largest holder of U.S. government treasuries, currently worth more than $1 trillion. But now the trend has been well and truly reversed, and the ongoing trade conflict isn't helping matters. In March alone, China offloaded $20 billion of U.S. debt, the fastest sell-off in 2 years.
Of course, the effect would be by driving up the price of the dollar, devaluing the yuan in turn, and have an effect on interest rates in the U.S. And that would have an effect through, the dollar valuation and interest rates in the U.S.
Meanwhile, the tariff war is taking its toll on both sides.
A year ago, China was $55 billion of imports every month to the U.S., and that's down to less than 30 billion now. So the imports from China have been halved. But I think China has a way of better waiting out a long-term protracted economic war with the United States because of the way their economy can move more quickly.
But China has plenty of other tools in its arsenal.
Based on what I know, China is seriously considering restricting rare earth exports to the US. China may also take other countermeasures in the future.
With no end in sight to the dispute, trade officials in Washington are bracing for some far-reaching countermeasures from Beijing.
Particularly in the wake of the decision to put Huawei on the entity list, there are concerns that the government of China may decide to retaliate against American companies.
China's retaliation could put some of America's biggest corporations in the fire line.
I think if the thing gets even worse, in other words, the economic war gets worse, what you may see is the U.S. moving to delist certain Chinese companies from American stock markets. Well, if that happens, then China will do the same thing, tit for tat. There could be a sort of a boycott U.S. goods in China. And if the U.S. keeps going after Huawei and other Chinese companies, China could take the same action against Apple or other companies in China. That would be more intensification of the trade war.
But despite all evidence, Trump continues to insist that only China stands to lose out.
China should not retaliate, will only get worse.
So while the threats continue, the global economy is being held hostage.